Dear TV Midday News, I am Chinatu Oji. Let's begin with the headlines. NANS urges DSS to tackle rising certificate forgery in Nigeria. Aviation industry faces shortage of qualified professionals, says KEYAMO. Morocco and Russia sign agreement to strengthen bilateral cooperation. Released by SCATEC to deploy solar leasing module in Liberia and Sierra Leone, away from Africa. National Guard activated ahead of massive No Kings protests across the U.S. In health, Lagos cautions residents against unregistered health facilities, and in business, Nigeria gains global investor confidence amid fiscal monetary reforms. And sports, OLUWAFEMIYAyo breaks world record, targets world powerlifting title in CARIO. Now the news in full. The National Association of Nigerian Student NANS has called on the Director General of the Department of State Services, DSS, Adeola Oluwatosin Ajayi, to expand his reforms to address the increasing problem of certificate forgery within Nigeria's public and political institutions. The students' body praised Ajayi's leadership in his first year, highlighting improvement in professionalism, morale, and cooperation within the security agency. NANS described the rise in certificate forgery as a serious national concern that undermines Nigeria's credibility both domestically and internationally. The association stressed that falsified academic documents could, among public officials, threaten governance and policy making at the highest levels, urging the DSS to treat these cases as national security issues rather than mere administrative matters. The group called for a coordinated national campaign against certificate forgery involving the DSS, Ministry of Education, JAM, NYSC, and tertiary institutions. They also proposed the creation of a digitized verification system to authenticate academic and professional credentials, making forgery more difficult and increasing accountability. While acknowledging past forgery scandals under previous administration, NANS urged the current DSS leadership to use its vetting and intelligence capabilities to strengthen verification processes. They emphasized swift investigation and prosecution of offenders as vital to protecting the integrity of millions of genuine students and graduates across Nigeria. And now the Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development, Festus Keyamo SAN, has revealed that Nigeria's aviation industry is currently grappling with a shortage of qualified professionals, prompting the government to recall and retain retired staff to fill critical gaps. He made the statement during the unveiling of the Isaac Balami University of Aeronautics and Management, IBOAM, in Abuja, the country's first private university dedicated to aeronautics, licensed by the federal government earlier this year. KEYAMO emphasized the rapid growth of Africa's aviation sector, noting that the continent will soon require more pilots, aeronautical engineers, and air traffic controllers. He urged the university to prioritize training in areas where the industry is most short-staffed, particularly in air traffic control, describing it as a vital step in preparing for the sector's future demands. Founder Isaac Balami highlighted the university's mission to fast-track aviation education, condensing decades of industry knowledge into 4 to 5 years of training. The institution will equip students with practical skills including digital simulation competency, preparing graduates to meet international standards and work with global aviation manufacturers. Professor Paul Jemitola, the university's pioneer vice-chancellor, shared that graduates will earn both academic degrees and professional certifications, including private pilot licenses and aircraft maintenance certifications recognized by Nigerian and European aviation authorities. The university aims to bolster Nigeria's aviation education and build a skilled workforce to support the growing air transport industry across Africa. And in Morocco and Russia signed a Memorandum of Understanding on October 16, 2025, establishing a joint working committee between their foreign ministries. This committee will be responsible for assessing the progress of bilateral relations and proposing new areas for cooperation. The agreement reflects both countries' intention to deepen and modernize their partnership amid changing global dynamics. Morocco's Foreign Minister Nasser Bourita and Russian Foreign Minister reduce reliance on fossil fuels on the region. The Liberian project, a 15-year lease with the Liberia Electricity Corporation, will add 20% to Monrovia's power capacity with a 23.75 MWP solar plant and a 10 MWH storage system near Duazan. The facility is expected to generate about 35,000 megawatts annually and reduce carbon dioxide emissions by 20,000 tons each year, helping to cut dependence on thermal power during dry seasons when hydropower output is low. In Sierra Leone, released by SCATEC signed an agreement with the Ministry of Energy and the National Power Utility to install a 40 MWP solar plant in Kamakue, linked to the regional grid via the Transco CLSG substation. This plant will produce approximately 70,000 MWH yearly, cut emissions by around 47,000 tons of CO2, while strengthening the country's grid integration with the regional power network. Released by SCATEC, leasing model enables local utilities to convert capital investment into operating cost by leasing modular solar units financed, installed and operated by the company. This reduces financial barriers and accelerates deployment. Having successfully implemented this model in Cameroon, the company is confident it will help Liberia and Sierra Leone increase electrification rate from around 33 to 35% to over 70% by 2030. Away from Africa now, Republican governors in several U.S. states have activated their National Guard units ahead of the planned No Kings protest set to take place in over 2,500 locations nationwide. The demonstrations are aimed at opposing former President Donald Trump and what organizers describe as his authoritarian political agenda. Organizers say the protests are meant to affirm democratic values and reject any return to strongman-style leadership. Texas Governor Greg Abbott and Virginia Governor Glenn Youngkin have both ordered the activation of the state National Guard of forces. Abbott cited potential unrest tied to Antifa-linked groups expected to participate in the protest plan for Austin. Similar moves are being considered in other Republican-led states amid concerns about potential clashes or disruptions. Protest organizers argue their movement is a peaceful stand for democracy and a rejection of Trump's policies. In America, we don't have kings, wrote a statement on the group's website. We won't back down against chaos, corruption, and cruelty. Their last major demonstration held in June reportedly drew over 5 million participants. Some Republican lawmakers, including Senator Roger Marshall of Kansas, have criticized the movement, labeling it a Hate America campaign. Democrats, however, condemned the activation of troops, saying it mirrors tactics of autocratic regimes. Texas Democrat Jeannie Wu said sending armed soldiers to suppress peaceful protests is what kings and dictators do. Now let's go on a quick break. The news continues when we return.
In a world that often celebrates fame, recognition, it's a platform, a tribute to Africa's untold brilliance. Be inspired, be informed, be part of the story.
The first edition is dropping on the 15th of October, with more editions coming in subsequently.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is the Idea TV Midday News. Now and the rest of the stories. In health, the Lagos State Health Facilities Monitoring and Accreditation Agency has warned residents against patronizing unregistered healthcare facilities and providers. Speaking at a sensitization program held at the Oshodi Solo Local Government Secretariat, the agency emphasized the importance of seeking medical care only at FAMA-accredited facilities to ensure safety and quality service delivery. Dr. Biola Idowu, the Permanent Secretary of FAMA, represented by Oladuni Omitola from the agency's Inspection and Monitoring Unit, explained that several lapses in the healthcare sector prompted the creation of the agency. She urged residents to prioritize their health and take full advantage of government-accredited medical institutions to avoid preventable health risks. As part of efforts to improve transparency and compliance, FAMA has introduced a barcode system that allows users to verify a facility's registration status. This barcode can also be used by residents to lodge complaints or provide feedback about the experiences at any health facility, further promoting accountability. in the healthcare system. Since its establishment in 2006, FAMA has registered over 4,000 healthcare facilities across the state. The Director of Administration and Human Resources, Abdulaziz Jimo, noted that penalties are in place for facilities that fail to comply with established standards. He encouraged the public to report both positive and negative experiences by scanning the QR code, adding the accredited facilities act as representatives of the Lagos State government in delivering quality health care. And in business, the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, has reported a significant boost in investor confidence driven by ongoing economic reforms that have stabilized the naira, reduced inflation and increased transparency in monetary policy. At a press conference during the IMF and World Bank annual meetings in Washington, D.C., CBN Governor Olayemi Cardozo stated that the Nigerian delegation's discussions with global investors, rating agencies, and financial institutions reflected growing optimism about the country's reform path. He noted that interactions with key institutions like the IMF, World Bank, IFC, Fitch, Moody's, and S&P are all signaled positive momentum. Governor Cardozo highlighted that the naira has continued to strengthen, with the exchange rate gap between official and parallel markets narrowing to less than 2%, a clear sign of reduced speculation and improving market trust. It revealed that foreign reserves have risen to over $43 billion, providing more than 11 months of import cover. Additionally, headline inflation dropped to 18.02% in September, the lowest in 3 years, marking the 6th consecutive month of decline. The improvement, he said, are the result of tighter monetary policy, exchange rate unification, and a more transparent market structure. Cardozo emphasized that coordination between monetary and fiscal authorities has also deepened under the current administration, enhancing investor trust and development partner engagement. Fiscal reforms, including fuel subsidy removal, reduced government spending, and enhanced revenue collection, are helping rebalance public finances and channel resources into critical sectors like infrastructure, health, and education. He also noted the rising revenues from the non-oil sector and resurgence of investment in the energy industry, with over $8 billion in new commitment thanks to improved security in oil-producing areas. As part of broader international cooperation, Nigeria signed a memorandum of understanding with the Central Bank of Angola to strengthen monetary collaboration within Africa. The CBN governor also announced that Nigeria will assume the chairmanship of the Intergovernmental Group of 24G 2024 Paralympic Games. Outstanding performance secured her double gold in both the best lift and total lift categories. China's Wen Jun secured a silver medal with a 157-kilogram lift, while Iran's Niku Ruzabani took home the bronze with 152-kilogram effort. The Nigerian powerhouse continues to dominate the sport with her unmatched consistency and strength on the global stage. In a post-event interview shared by the National Sports Commission, OLUWAFEMIYAYO expressed deep gratitude for the support she received, thanking the Nigerian government and presidents for their encouragement. She pledged to bring the championship trophy home, adding that she believes that she would receive and be celebrated in Nigeria. With this victory, OLUWAFEMIYAYO now holds 4 world titles: Mexico City 2017, North Sultan 2019, Tbilisi 2021, and CARIO 2025. She is also a 2-time Paralympic champion, adding another layer to her remarkable achievements in powerlifting. That's all we have for you on Idea TV Midday News, but before we go, here's the recap of the headlines. NANS urges DSS to tackle rising certificate forgery in Nigeria. Aviation industry faces shortage of qualified professionals, says KEYAMO. Morocco and Russia sign agreement to strengthen bilateral cooperation. Released by SCATEC to deploy solar leasing module in Liberia and Sierra Leone. Away from Africa, a National Guard activated ahead of massive no-kings protests across the U.S. In health, Lagos cautions residents against unregistered health facilities. And in business, Nigeria gains global investor confidence amid fiscal monetary reforms. And in sport, OLUWAFEMIYAYO breaks world record, targets world powerlifting title in CARIO. Do not forget to follow us across all our social media platforms at Idea TV. I am Chinatu Oji. Thank you for watching.